Last week I had I think 10-point win. Colts going to win by 21, 41-20 against a very bad Titans team, right? And that's now becoming the question. All right, two of the three teams you played don't have a win. One of the teams you played has one win, right? And their one win is against a team with no wins, which is Tennessee. So a lot of people questioning this schedule. This is the prove it game for everybody out there, right? People are saying this is the prove it game. It's 425. It's in LA. Indy has to travel. So many questions. And I'm going to break it down quarter by quarter and everything. And we finally brought back a paper. So let's break down the scoring quarter by quarter. And then we'll break down who I think does good on each team, why they do good, and then what I think ends up being the score. First quarter, I think Rams lead 10-7 by the end of it. I think Rams go off to a pretty good lead here, and they've understood Indy, right? And they have more veterans that have done winning, and I think that leads into the second quarter scoring another 7. I think they're up 17-7 at half as Indy goes scoreless in the second. This is going to be Indy's first real test of being down, feeling what it is to not really be there yet. And that's because the Rams' defense is just going to be that difficult to play against until the third quarter. I think Indy unlocks some things in the third quarter. They score 2 touchdowns. I think third quarter JT really starts to get rolling, right? They start to give him some passes, you know. He starts catching some footballs. Really get JT going, which takes some load off of Daniel Jones. And Stafford starts to slow down a little bit. I think the pass rush, finally, we start to see that pass rush maybe get a sack or two, not just pressures. At this point, it's 21-24. Rams lead by 3. And I think Indy's defense comes up with a huge pick in the fourth quarter, just like they did against Denver week 2, which changes the tide of the game and leads to a Daniel Jones touchdown drive late with 5 or 6 minutes left. And then Indy makes one more defensive stop and wins the game. Let's go down to the Rams and say stats breakdown. What I think happens. I think Stafford goes 28 for 35 with 1 INT, 2 passing touchdowns, 198 yards. I think Kyron Williams, the running back, would go for about 14 carries, 89 yards. And if somehow he's hurt, because I honestly didn't check, same thing. This rush defense is kind of rough for Indy. But 14 carries, 89 yards. I think they go off of him early, though. You got Nakua, 5 catches, 80 yards, 1 touchdown. And then Devontae Adams. Questionable guy, maybe a healthy scratch, maybe he plays, maybe he doesn't. I think if he plays, he gets these stats. 3 catches, 33 yards, 0 touchdowns. Don't think he has a good game. I do think Nakua does. Nakua is highly touted by everybody in the league, yada, yada, yada. Adams, I think Indy will really have a hold of Adams. They'll probably put safety net cross up on top on him, whatever. Nakua, they're probably going to try to go one-on-one. That's going to kill them. 5 for 80 with a tutty. On the other side, Jonathan Taylor, 18 carries, 91 yards, and a rushing touchdown, and also 3 catches for 24 yards. So not as crazy stat line he's been getting, but still one that's very, very solid. Tyler Warren will have 4 catches for 65 yards and a touchdown. Michael Pittman Jr., 5 catches, 55 yards, and a touchdown. And Daniel Jones will go 33 for 38. With 247 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. As you notice, I said no turnovers there. This is why I think Indy will win the game. Daniel Jones' ability to not turn the ball over has been the difference maker of the season. People like to talk about, okay, his ability to, pass, whatever. I mean, there's been games where he gets 2 passing touchdowns, 250 yards. We've seen that in the past with the Colts, and the Colts lose games because Matt Ryan was fumbling, or Phillip Rivers was throwing a pick, or Carson Wentz was doing both, right? Throwing a pick and fumbling. His ball control has been the biggest difference, and I think that will win them the game. If Daniel Jones, obviously, big if, but I think he does, holds on to the ball, makes the correct read, lives to play another down, takes a sack here and there, especially early. You can see the Colts down 17-7 at halftime and think, okay, we got a chance, right? We got a chance. We're not down 17-7 because the offense is making too many mistakes. We're down 17-7 because we couldn't make the right plays on offense yet. I think that confidence is really going to help. I think you have leaders in the locker room like Cam Bynum hyping up the guys in the locker room when they're down. Zaire getting in guys saying, come on, y'all, we got to do this, we got to do this, we got to do this. I think this team is going to show everybody this Sunday two things. They can come back, and they're a legitimate opponent to face any week. And I do think that Indiana wins this game, right? That the Colts can do something that not a lot of people see coming, which is defeating a Rams team who had the Eagles on the ropes. This is the game for the Colts to prove it to the world, but they've already proved it to me and a lot of Indiana fans. 28-24. Indianapolis gets a huge win and goes to 4-0. I say it every week. Can't believe I'm saying it because it's just crazy to say this long we've been undefeated. Not barely in my lifetime, right? 2009, the last time I was 5. All right, thank you guys for watching. Affleck time is out. Go Colts for the shoe. We let the Colts.